Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel where I'm very excited to share with you this Crucible planning sheet that I've developed over the past several days. The link to the sheet will be in the description below. There are instructions on the very first tab here. Just go up to the file menu in your Google Drive, make a copy for yourself, and then you'll be able to edit it on your own Google Drive. There are tabs here for each path. This is set up for legendary difficulty. You can probably adapt it towards the normal difficulty if you want, but I really wanted to focus more on the harder difficulty. So all the fights are in order on path 1 and path 2, and as a bonus I also included all of the champs that I'm going to be using for each of these fights. Remember, once you use a champ, you cannot bring that champ for the rest of that path, so it's like one and done type thing. So my plan is in here, and then MSD also graciously contributed his plan as well. So you can kind of use our champs here as a template or a guide for yourself. I know everybody's rosters are going to be different champs ranked up, different pieces of utility available in your roster. So don't take my plan or MSD's plan as gospel. That's why I included like a column here with some good counters. Please don't leave me a comment that says, why didn't you include such and such as a good counter? Because I'm not going to list 30 champs for every fight. Not a good use of space. A couple other things I want to call out here. Each of the boss names here is a link. These are links to time-stamped streams of myself fighting that boss. So you click on this Yondu and it goes to a specific point in my stream way back like 2 years ago when I was fighting this boss originally. So I may or may not be using the same champs that I have listed in my column here. My roster and the game have both come a long way since doing Act 7, so in most cases I'm probably using a different champ. So watching me do the fights initially, if you just want to kind of get an idea of what the fight looks like, what to expect, what does a node actually do when you're in the fight before you actually click fight for yourself. So hopefully this is going to save you some items, some revives. There are going to be revives and stuff strewn along the path. Ideal outcome here is that if you can get through this and come out like in a net positive of revives, that would be fantastic. You'll notice that some of these nodes I have listed here are in bold and red text, and these are what I would kind of consider as like roadblock or like extra difficult nodes that really demand either a very specific type of champ or you're just gonna have to like revive through it. So a good example here is this tantrum node on this Rhino boss, which requires one of these specific debuff types to be on him when you knock him down. Otherwise you're not going to do any damage. And with Power Shield combined with that, if you don't bring a champion to this fight with one of those effects, you're going to have to restart. So there are a lot of nodes like that. There's a Caustic Temper where if you don't have poison immunity or resistance, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. There is an Arrogance node which has Falter. There are nodes where you need like a passive heal block or a specific debuff type, so things like that. So if you see a node in bold red, it definitely is something you want to be paying attention to. I think the last thing I want to cover are the cheese options here. So I had to go with a slightly darker yellow text because the bright yellow text for cheese didn't really show up too well. But where a good cheese option exists for a fight, I have noted that here in the good counters column. And a good example here is this Green Goblin boss on path 1. He has power reserve, so all of your specials, all of his specials are going to cost half as much power. So if you bring a champ in who has a guaranteed stun on their special 1, like Ronin, like Gambit, like Stark-Enhanced Spider-Man, you can easily continuously stun lock your opponent in the corner. And this is made way easier with Strikers nowadays. Strikers didn't exist when this content was out, and they have made a lot of these fights significantly easier. There aren't a lot of cheese options for these fights, or at least not that I could recall. And again, you might remember one that I forgot. That's perfectly fine. Just, kind of incorporate that in your plan. This Hella boss with Dr. Doom, you can just heavy spam with Doom in the corner. I think there's one more Ronin fight here too. Maybe it's on path 2. Yeah, here we go. The first fight on path 2 is a Red Goblin, where he's going to constantly gain Fury buff, so you can cheese that with Ronin. I think that might be the last one. Oh, nope, I lied. There's one more. You can cheese the Super Skrull boss with a big enough Eye Hulk. I probably won't be doing that because I don't have mine ranked up, but you might choose to do that. All right, I know I said the cheese thing was the last thing I wanted to talk about. I did think of something else, and that is that I did put some basic conditional formatting in the My Plan column here that will warn you if you try and use the same champ multiple times for a single path. So let's say you come into this first fight here against Yondu, you want to use Gamora, and then you're going down to this, I don't know, this whatever fight, doesn't matter. This Venom fight, you say, I'd also like to use Gamora. Well, now you've got some bright red text to warn you that you can't do that. Do remember that different rarities of champions count as unique champions for this challenge. So if you want to use 7-star Gamora for this first fight, you can either leave the second line as just Gamora, assuming the 6-star, or you can specifically type out 6-star. So the way like I did in my column here, all of my champions are assumed to be 7 stars unless I specifically call out otherwise. So all of these, like I'm using Lady Deathstrike twice, so I have to denote that she's a 6-star. And MSD's notation is a little different. That's fine. You know, whatever works for you. But yeah, I really hope this is helpful. I am incredibly excited to do this content. I will probably stream this live tomorrow night. Or tonight, I guess, as this video is coming out. So really hope it's helpful. Again, the link to this sheet is in the description below. Go up to File, hit Make a Copy, and then you can edit it as needed. Share it with your friends, share it with your alliance mates, and good luck on this. If it was helpful to you, please let me know in the comments below. Big shout out to MSD for, again, lending his team to the sheet as well. I'm sure you'll probably see it on his stream as well if he's going to reference it during his run. But as always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.